What's up, coaches? Coach Chamberlain back here with back to the basics. First of all, if you're not using Canva for your look, this is an untitled design. We're gonna go back to the basics. Run game. All right, that way I can just keep this because I drew it up just a few minutes ago, just as something to use. If you aren't using Canva for your playbook stuff, you're missing out. Free for educators, so canva.com, and I think you got to put in your school email. I pay for one. My wife and I use it for multiple business things, and I don't currently have a teacher's account. Plus, I just get tired of changing the email. So, back to the basics today. We're going to get in quick. Okay, we are talking about gap scheme plays. So we're going to run through. Does it not let me draw? Oh no, that's okay. We'll make it work. So we're going to run through power. Oh, that's terrible. Power, GT counter, and GH counter. Now, some of you may, I don't know, there we go. Some of you may run like GY counter, or you may run something else. Oh, and then we're going to talk a little duo if we can. If we have time. Duo can almost be its own thing. All right, let's get started. Let's get some draw action here. Once again, go get Canva if you're not using it yet. It's amazing. First thing we're going to talk about is power. Okay, so power is generally a play to the strong side. So if you're new to football, the strong side is usually determined by where we have the benefit of the run. So it's generally going to be numbers. In this situation, let me get a couple more here so I can get my quarterback and then some type of a running back. Okay, so I hope you've watched other videos about positions. We got a center in the middle, left guard, left tackle, right guard, right tackle, quarterback, tailback. We call ours a T. I'm not going to label them here. And then this would be like an H-back or a Y for some people, whatever. Okay. Strong side is determined here. Notice there's no wide receivers. I'm only showing the internal. Okay. We go inside run is what we would call this in the coaching world. I'm only showing the box. So the box being for the offense, generally the connected players, okay, the ones that are standing next to each other fairly tight, and the defense being whoever is going to come play run fit. So the box here, the defense has an 8-man box. We truly don't have enough numbers here to block everyone, so that's why we want to run gap scheme stuff. What is gap scheme? Okay, so first of all, gap scheme is just a series of down blocks, okay, which means if the play is to the left here, okay, a down block is going to be backwards. So if I'm running left, a down block is going to be to the right. So the player's on the front of the play, okay, we call it front side and back side. I have a little pin here, but man, it does not let me. Maybe it will. Okay, so the front side is made up of center and beyond to the play side. Okay, oh, we got a little crazy there. All right. So in gap scheme, your front side is generally all going to down block. I'm going to get rid of that arrow because it's going to get confusing. Okay, front side will all down block. And then some variation of the back side is going to pull. To pull means to literally run down the line of scrimmage. You're going to pull out of your gap, and you're going to work toward the front side to do something. Sometimes we kick out a player. Sometimes we pull the wrap. So we're going to get into those plays as we move on here. Okay, so once again, front side, back side. The front side generally is going to down block. So we've got down blocks. We've got pulls. And then we'll talk about a little thing called a reach and hinge, or a down or a gap hinge block, however you teach it. So looking at power, power is a strong side play, generally ran toward the extra surface or the extra man. Here, our run strength is to our left. Okay. You can see how the defense is lined up. Surely you've watched the video that I created that taught about alignment. So you know that this on the back side is going to be a 5. This is a weak 1 or a shade. This is a 3. This is a 6 because he's head up. You could call it a 5 if you wanted. Just depends on how close he gets here. Y off type formations make it difficult for these DNs. Backers, remember, we just add a 0, so this is a 20 backer. He's head up on a guard, so he's a 2, and he's at depth, so he's a 20. This is a 30 backer. And then these guys are just generally outside leverage of whoever their key is. So they can kind of do a lot of things. Outside backers, okay? So power, what is power? Okay, so power is block down, kick out, and wrap. All right, so when we get into teaching power, we have to understand there needs to be in some alignment. So power is an old school play, used to be ran from inline. Okay, with an inline, a lot of times back in the day, you would get a 9 technique here. Okay, so the box would look more like this. And people were going to what we call box with the defensive end. So defensive end would have outside contain. These days, we're a lot more Y off type stuff. Okay, so we would see the Y change his alignment to be inside. So now we get this 5 front side, this wider outside backer. Okay, and so now we have the opportunity to get our kick. So with power, okay, we talked about a little bit about blocking down, but we're going to get down blocks. Let me click my drawing tool here. Okay, so we're going to get down, maybe get a down here, likely going to backer, getting a down. Now you ask, where does your pull kick and pull wrap come from? Well, there's not really a pull kick in power. Okay, we're going to take what we call banana steps, and we're going to work in here. So now we're going to kick out. This is our kick man. Okay, this is our wrap man. Sometimes we'll number them 1 and 2. We always leave 2 for the pull and kick. Okay, and then what we're trying to do is build a wall here. And then the kick should create another wall here. So we really want the ball to go right in there. Okay, so we've got we've got a kick out by the front side. We're going to pull to wrap with the back side. Notice he fits that right past the, as these down blocks are building this wall. So as soon as he can get past the wall, he's working up to that backer. Now there shouldn't be anyone home. Okay, so the running back can take whatever his steps are, and he can fit right in there. Okay, so let's show that a little bit cleaner here. Okay, down block, down block, down block, just base, not identifying really where they're going 100%. We're going to get a kick. We're going to get a pull wrap. Backside, we'll get a reach hinge or a gap hinge. Okay, and then our running back will just follow the big butt of that pulling guard straight up in the hole. Okay, once again, the kick should eliminate anything here. This guy has usually got another wide receiver to help with. If he can fold in, okay, we're going to stick real tight, and we'll even try to put power back inside. I teach power and counters a gap play. Remember gaps, we talked about those in another video. If you ain't seen them, go check that video out. Okay, notice we're not really worried about any of these guys' backside. This, if we get the double, we'll pick up. Okay, so this guy generally is going to get there because there's no one really in his gap. So he'll work to that. If this defensive tackle comes across, then he will work to that backer. Okay, so we'll answer that there. So that's power. Remember, power is a bunch of block down. We're going to kick out and then pull to wrap. So that is power. Okay. Now let's check out counter. Get rid of the drawing tool here. So with counter, we need to get our H back outside because we need the timing to work out right. So counter is a weak side run play generally. Okay. So in the same exact scenario, right? So now we want the play to go this way. It's still gap scheme. We've showed the same formation. We expect to get the same alignment from the defense. And this is how we have an answer if they start trying to block our power play. So we're going to go GH counter first here, okay? So GH counter, it's gap play. So everyone on the front side, okay? Remember, everybody over here is front side now. So everyone on the front side is going to down. Okay, once again, he has gap down backer. So if he can get there, great. If not, he works onto that backside backer. We're going to leave 2 for our pulling people. Okay, and then this guy we're not really worried about. We teach it. We're not worried about anybody outside of our kick. Now, counter changes a little bit because used to the H back here was our kick man. Remember, he aligned inside and kicked. And a backside guard was the wrap. Okay, well, now we're switching their roles. Now the backside guard is going to be pull to kick, and the H-back is going to pull to wrap. Notice we still take care of our 2. Okay, we still should get the wall built here. And then once we kick, we consider that a wall. So the running back is just going to go the opposite way. So he should be able to fit that gap. Okay, so that is GH counter. GH counter is used a lot opposite of power. Even by alignment, you really could still make it work here. It's just going to be really fast fitting. So if you want to show the exact same formation, that's not undoable. We just generally can go here. So you say, well, that coach, obviously you're giving things away. I agree. So that's where we come right back with GT counter. Okay, so GT counter we use a lot in our offense because we just won't carry an H in that formation, but you can definitely do it with. Okay, so if we didn't have an H back here and we still want to run it this way, remember front side is down, gap down backer, probably going there, there, there. This one's a little weird, and this is why we often still like to keep an H back in because we got these 3 downs and those guys are taken care of. We leave 2 for our kick and pull. We're not worried about him. Okay, he's too far backside to make the play, or we'll RPO him. This guy becomes an issue if we don't carry an H-back, okay? So let's look at exactly what we're trying to do here. So we're going to backside guard pull to kick, much like GH counter, okay? So it stays the same there. But now, obviously, it's GT, gets its name because of guard tackle. So now the tackle is going to be our pull to wrap guy. So he's going to take care of number 2. Same thing, we're going to build a wall. We're going to have our kick wall. Our running back should be able to hit it up in there. Okay, so if we go all the way back and we bring our H-back into the game, we're still going the same way. Okay, now our H-back has the ability to reach here and kind of be our reach hinge or our gap hinge. Okay, so if we want to run, we're still going to get our same down blocks, gap down backer. Still going to get our same kick pull for 1. Pull kick, pull wrap for 2. Okay, but now we have that other man taken care of. So notice we have our walls. We've dealt with the man backside. We've ran counter just a little bit different. Can still run it to front side as well. So we work here, a whole bunch of downs. Okay, and now we say we want to leave 2. Sometimes we end up plus a hat here. Okay, if they don't have the right personnel, this could be our 2, or there's usually going to be a free safety sitting way up here. We can wrap to him. Okay, so we're going to pull to kick. We're going to pull to wrap to whoever shows up. Okay, if all these guys are blocked, we're just plus a hat. That's absolutely okay. We still have 1 guy to take care of. Okay, we're not worried about him. We're not worried about him. So notice we have it all kind of wrapped up here. We'll get into some other ways to take care of this guy in the future. Right now, you can know that we can read him, so make him wrong, whatever he does. We can RPO it, RRO it, meaning run option. Lots and lots of things we can do there for that guy. Okay, so let's quickly get into duo. So duo is a lot of fun. I'm not going to go through all those. So duo is it can be considered a gap scheme or a zone scheme play. We're going to teach it always as a gap scheme though, okay? And here's how we do it. So remember we've used gap down backer. I don't want to get too much into rules here. I understand this for newer people to football. But gap down backer to the front side has always been our rule. So if we're going to run this to the left, all of these guys are either going to work their gap, they're going to help with a down, or they're going to get all the way across to a backer, okay? So this has kind of been the rule. Well, what we're going to do now is change our rules up, and we're just going to call it gap double. What that means is everybody who's attached on this front line, if they have anyone in their gap, remember that a gap is head up on me to the inside shoulder of the man beside me. Okay, so this is my gap because the play is still going this way. Gaps are always backside. If there's a man there, I'm going to down him. Okay, so I'm going to block him. I'm going to gap down. If there's not, I'm going to work to make a double team. Okay, so these are base rules for duo. So we'll just start on the left. Right here, he has to go here because that guy is technically in his gap. We're going there. He has no one in his gap, so he's going to work a double. We've got a gap. There's no one in his gap, so he's going to work a double. He's got his gap. We are going to read this guy with the tailback. Okay, so for duo, we're going to press a gap. If this backer pushes, then we just bounce it right out here, wherever the next bubble opens up. Okay, and you ask about these guys out here. Yes, we have to have an answer for a perfect 4-4 defense. We're probably throwing an RPO. Okay, we generally are going to get other defenses anyways. We can read. We can do all sorts of fun stuff out here to make these guys wrong. Remember, we're gonna eliminate these guys with reads. Okay, this gap, this double team right here can work to combo, and this one can really just work to get in the way. But we're gonna read him more than anything. All right, so let's. If he flies outside trying to close a window and hoping this guy gets there, okay, then we can just hit it up inside. So duo is the easiest of the gap scheme plays to really teach. Now, we often call it power without a kick is what it's going to get called because if for whatever reason your opponent puts people in every single gap like this, okay, then what we're going to end up with is a whole bunch of down blocks. Okay, and that's okay by us. So we will teach it just down it, down it, down it, all the way across. Okay. Now all we have to do is find a seam. So hit the wall and get out. We will read this guy with an RPO. We can kick him if we need to. If we can assign, some people assign the rules. The last man to the play side always becomes a kicker. So that way we don't end up with this guy getting pushed into the gap. Right. So now what it would be like banana to kick, down, 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 down. And so now you can see where the running back has that little lane to hit. Once again, we're going to, if it's outside the kick, we're not really worried about him. This guy backside will RPO. So we'll kind of take care of that. So there you go. You've gotten through all of the gap scheme plays. I think we kept it under 20 minutes. I hope that this has been helpful. If you have any questions, reach out, chamberlainfootballconsulting@gmail.com. And you can jump over to chamberlainfootballconsulting.com and hit me up on Twitter @CoachChambo. Okay. Appreciate you guys.